I think I've seen enough. Barcelona are going to be finishing top of the league phase of the Champions League this season. What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? BugaLuis here. Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and you may have already know this, but the Champions League draw has been made, and today we're gonna be reacting to it. And like I said at the start, I think Barcelona has gotten a very easy, well, I was gonna say group, a very easy fixture list. I think we're actually quite benefited by the software. I think, you know what, before it was Real Madrid, I think this time around we got a very easy draw. Let me know in the comment box down below if you agree with me, and just like always, guys, please drop your like for the almighty YouTube algorithm. We really need to get back up there. We're struggling a bit because we haven't been consistent as always, but you know what, I'm trying to change that. Give your Peruvian Latin guy a second chance. But anyhow, this is what we have in place for you guys today. So on screen right now, you can see all of the results from, well, this is actually part 2. This is not what I want to see. Barcelona will be facing, first of all, PSG. And then we'll be facing Chelsea. We'll be facing Frankfurt at home. We'll be facing Club Brugge away. Olympiacos at home. Slavia Praga away. Copenhagen at home, and Newcastle at away from home. I think, in all honesty, this is good. This is good. Like, I couldn't have asked for a better fixture list. I would have liked to play some other teams, but I like having 2 English teams there. I think, first of all, let's start off right from the get-go. I think PSG is a very great test. PSG were the best team last season, you could say, because overall they won the Champions League, they won the treble, they won all the trophies that you could have won. And except the Club World Cup, of course. And then we have Chelsea, who won that trophy, who won the Club World Cup. I think that the mixed match of different identities between PSG and Barcelona is going to be very interesting because we're all going to be full attacking. I think that Barcelona's system might actually be a little bit of a troublesome for PSG, but we have to see how we develop and we have to see how we compete. So this will be very interesting. And it's also going to be interesting to see how the fixture list actually develops, who do we play first? Because last season we got the strong matches out of the way first. We played Bayern Munich, and if I'm not wrong, we played Bayern Munich very early on, and that gave us a good rhythm because we beat them very strongly, and then we continued in that momentum until we faced Dortmund, and I think it was Benfica where we had a little more troubles. But that was later in the league phase. So if we can start off strong and, let's say, play against PSG right from the get-go, I would very much like that, because it would mean that Barcelona can settle into the Champions League and, you know, settle that mentality. Right now we are still winning. We're still, you know, top of La Liga. I don't know if we're top of La Liga, but we have 6 points and we're doing good. But our team chemistry can be a little bit better. And I think that could improve if we are able to get a monstrous win against a team like PSG. The next team they have to face, of course, is Chelsea. And Chelsea, like I said, Club World Cup winners. I think they're a very, very good team. And this season, they have been improving a lot, particularly from the end of last year. Enzo Maresca have been putting in good, I think, tactical performances, improving the likes of Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo in that midfield, making him one of the best, I would say, double pivots in the world. I really like what Cole Palmer is doing, regardless of whether he's consistent in the league or not. I think he's a tremendous player, and he could hurt Barcelona so many times. I think that if we, for instance, have that high line like we always do, and we do not get him offside, he could very much get us into trouble. So Cole Palmer is definitely a one to watch. Eintracht Frankfurt is there because of, I think, most of the players that they had last season. This year, they're not as strong. They got Jonathan Burkhardt from Mainz to replace Hugo Ekitike. And yes, it's a good German player, a good striker, but I'm not sure whether he has that flair that Ekitike had and whether he can really give us as much trouble as before. But plus, I really like this fixture because it's a revenge fixture. You know, we need to get back. We need to beat Frankfurt because of what happened in the Europa League. That defeat is actually very painful. And I think that Frankfurt here, this is not going to happen again. You know, we're not going to have a stadium filled with Frankfurt fans. No. That cannot happen again. So I really like that for us. I really like that match for us. It's a revenge match. And it seems like this season and last season, we're sort of like righting our wrongs. You know, we are getting rid of the teams that sort of have scrutinized us in the past, you know, that sort of have shamed us. We just need like a Roma and Inter in the next few seasons, and maybe we're complete in that sense. Next up, we have Club Brugge. Club Brugge is a good team. It's a good, decent team, but particularly away from home, of course, they're gonna be stronger. But if you're taking a look at the pot 2 of teams that we could have faced, let me open up the pot 2 of teams. Let me just have a new. Here I have the pot 2 of teams. You can see that we could have had any of these teams. So you can see there the teams, right? So the teams that Barcelona could have faced were Arsenal, Leverkusen, Atlético de Madrid, Benfica, Atalanta, Villarreal, Juventus, and we got Frankfurt at Club Brugge. We got the weakest teams out of all of them. That's a good sign for Barça. Like, we cannot act like we are not lucky in this sense. Compare for instance, let me move my camera again. Oh my God. Compare for instance what I don't know, Juventus or Real Madrid. Real Madrid have to play Juventus. Villarreal have to play Manchester City. PSG have to play Atalanta, and PSG have to face Leverkusen. We have to face Bruges and Frankfurt. I think those are good matchups, good fixtures that certainly we should be able to win. So I'm all in favor for that. We're gonna be comparing all of the draws for the biggest teams later on. Let's continue so far with Barcelona's draws, because I think that's where, of course, most people going to be interested. What's interesting before I continue moving is that a lot of the Chelsea players were actually, you know, wanting Barcelona. So they made a video on their social media asking them who would they want, and they were saying, oh, Cucurella, Barça. Enzo Fernandez, I want Barcelona. Reece James, give me Barça. Pedro Neto, Barcelona. Robert Sanchez, Barcelona and PSG. And Malo Gusto, bring on everyone. And guess what? You got what you desired, because guess what? We are playing them. And I think that playing away at Stamford Bridge, the last time we played there, of course, it was a goal from Dembele, the goal from Messi. And it was a very good performance from Barcelona, but we did struggle in the first half when Chelsea were able to sort of contain us a little bit. I think this Chelsea team is far more different. That Chelsea, if I'm not wrong, was managed by Antonio Conte. And this time around, Chelsea with Enzo Maresca is much more attacking. So I think we better be careful. Next up, we have Olympiacos and Slavia Praga, which from the pot 3. And let me just, once again, let's look at it, you know. So we could have gotten Tottenham. We could have gotten Napoli, Sporting, PSV, Ajax, Bodo Glimt, Marseille. We got Olympiacos and Slavia Praga. Like, I once again think we got the 2 weakest sides here on paper. I think Ajax this season might be a little bit weaker than Olympiacos. Maybe. I'm not wrong. Do not count me on that. But I think that from what I know, Olympiacos is still a rugged side, and we're playing Olympiacos at home. So that shouldn't be much of a problem. Bodo Glimt really had a tremendous campaign last year, so I would be not afraid, but of course it would be a tough match, particularly if it was away from home, but it isn't. And Marseille is a very good French side, of course. We all know what Marseille is, and it's doing great wonders last season, and they look very much improved. Aubameyang coming back as well is going to be a massive upgrade for them. And once again, from pot 4, that's where I think we do have a little bit of a debate. We got Copenhagen, Rooney's ex-club, which I think is going to be interesting for him to play. He definitely probably will make an appearance on that game. And then we have Newcastle United. From all the teams here, of course, we have Monaco, Galatasaray, Union Saint-Gilloise, I think it is, Karabakh, Athletic Club, Newcastle, Paphos, Ankarayt Almaty from Kazakhstan. And yeah, definitely Newcastle is one of the strong teams. We needed another strong team. And if you ask me, I think that if Isak actually ends up near Newcastle, it will be it could be a good fixture. But most importantly, it's an intense fixture. I really like what could happen for us there, you know, because we're playing away from home at St. James Park. It will be an interesting fixture. It will certainly be a very, very nice fixture. I think us to play Newcastle away from home, like, that's going to be cool, man. It's going to be it's been a while since we've played them. We've played them once, I think, and they beat us, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, I think it's going to be very, very nice to play against Newcastle away from home. So overall, our fixture list, I think it's nice. I think it's good. I think Barcelona, look at, that's going to be later. Look at this. I think it's nice. I think we take a look at the teams. We still don't know the order, but PSG, Frankfurt, Olympiacos, Copenhagen, Chelsea, Bruges, Slavia Prague, Newcastle. I think Barcelona could be looking at potentially, let's say, a draw against PSG, then win. Those are 9-10 points. 10 points from the 4 teams at the top. And then we have Chelsea. I think we can win that game. 13 points. Club Brugge, we could also win. 16. Slavia Prague, we should win on paper, but a draw will always happen. So, or a loss maybe. Let's keep it at 16 for the sake of it. And then Newcastle, a draw. So 17 points. I think 17 points should be more than enough to get into the top. Is it the top 8, if I'm not wrong? So this was from the last Champions League. And 17 points should be getting you around 5th and 6th. So actually Barcelona could do better, because last time Barcelona did 19 points, which is very, very good. We only lost 1 game and we drew another. If we continue with this form, let's bring it back. We could say that Barcelona could potentially lose against PSG. Imagine we lose to PSG or we lose to one of the other small sides, and then we drew against, I think Newcastle is a draw. I think that's a very tough game. 1, 2, I think we could repeat something very similar. I don't know if it will be enough to top it, but right now when we take a look and we're going to compare, let's compare, guys, to the fixture list of the other teams. Look at this, guys. Look at this. The other teams, this is a fixture list from the other teams of pot 1. Barcelona there, it's easy. Like, if you take a look at what the other teams have, I think we got an easy draw. And we should be ending first of the league phase. It could happen. It could happen, because I think this year it's tougher. The competition is harder. I think it's harder, the competition. I think it's way harder. Take a look at Paris Saint-Germain, Bayern Munich, Barça. They play Atalanta, Leverkusen, Tottenham, Sporting, Newcastle, and Athletic Club de Bilbao. They got the 2 hardest teams in pot 3 and pot 4. That's ridiculous, guys. That's ridiculous. Like Real Madrid, then they have Manchester City, Liverpool away, Juventus at home, Benfica away, Olympique de Marseille, Olympiacos, then Monaco and Carayt. Man City, they got Dortmund at home. They face Real Madrid away. Leverkusen at home. Villarreal away. Napoli at home. The De Bruyne Derby. Bottom Glint, Galatasaray and Monaco. Bayern Munich, Chelsea, PSG, Club Brugge, Arsenal, Sporting, PSV, Union Saint-Gilloise and Pafos. Liverpool, Real Madrid, Inter, Atletico Madrid, Frankfurt, PSV, Olympique de Marseille, Karabakh and Galatasaray. I mean, we have a good draw. Even look at Inter, Liverpool, Dortmund, Arsenal, Atletico Madrid. That's hard. Chelsea, Bayern, Barcelona, Benfica, Atalanta, Ajax, Napoli. I think Chelsea has a good draw as well. Despite Barça and Bayern, which on paper they're weaker than both of those teams, I think they have a good draw. And then Dortmund, they always scrape into the top 8. I don't know what they do, but they always do. This year they might not though. Inter at home, away at City, those could be 2 losses. But Inter, we know, depends if that's very early. Inter always kind of struggle away from home. Villarreal, I think they could win that. Juventus, away, they could win that as well. Bottom Glint, Tottenham, Atletico Bilbao, Copenhagen. In all honesty, Barcelona's draw is the easiest, guys. Like, I'm not joking. PSG, Chelsea, then Frankfurt, Club Brugge, Olympiacos, Slavia Praga, Copenhagen, and Newcastle. Like, that's easy, bro. On paper, that's very easy. I want to see Atletico Madrid's fixture list. Arsenal has Bayern Munich at home. That's the first thing that I saw. Arsenal always get Bayern Munich, though. Atletico Madrid, Inter, Liverpool, Frankfurt, Arsenal, Bottom Glint, PSV, Union Saint-Gilloise, Galatasaray. Atleti should be progressing, though, but Atleti always kind of struggle, though. They always tend to struggle. Juventus have a good draw. Look at that. Dortmund, Real Madrid, Benfica, Villarreal, Sporting, Bottom Glint, Pafos, and Monaco. That could be good for them. I mean, they could scrape quite a few points from that. I think Leverkusen has a good draw as well, despite the 2 at the start are very strong. Arsenal Arsenal, difficult start, like I said, barring Inter Atletico Madrid. So overall, I think Barcelona has a good draw. Like, once again, I'm going to be honest. I think we have a good draw. So no complaining, guys. No complaining whatsoever. I think we have a good draw. We cannot complain with this. I think we're doing very nicely. I think we should be fine. We should be fine. But let's take a look at Real Madrid, though. Real Madrid. Manchester City at home. Liverpool away. They could lose those two games. They could lose those 2 games, to be honest. They could lose those 2 games. Then they have Leverkusen at home, Villarreal away. No, what? No. Juventus at home, Benfica away. Benfica away is hard. We already know that. We know that by a fact. We played there last season. Olympique de Marseille, Olympiacos, Monaco. It's a hard draw. It's a competitive draw. That's the best way I would put it. It's a competitive draw. I think Real Madrid should be okay, though, but it's a competitive draw. It's a competitive draw. It's like it's very competitive. The 2 strong teams at the start are very strong. Are the strongest, I would say. Some of the strongest in the pot. Juventus, Benfica, they're strong, both of them. Juventus at home, they should be okay. They should be winning that. Marseille at home, they should be winning that as well. Olympiacos away could be hard, but I mean, between having Monaco at home and Carayt at home, it's much better to have Monaco at home. Like, that's the hardest team. Going away to Kazakhstan, I think Real Madrid should be okay in winning that. But yeah, Real Madrid, I think, are okay. If there are any upset, let me see if I can spot any upsets from the big teams. Any upset? Would it be an upset if Inter gets knocked out? Because Inter have Liverpool, Dortmund, Arsenal, Atletico Madrid. Those are 2 losses right away. I say right away, but I think Arsenal and Liverpool away from home are going to be hard. I think Arsenal and Liverpool are 2 teams that are going to grind out a result. They really do play like that. Atletico Madrid away is going to be very hard as well. And Dortmund away, very hard as well. But I don't think the away fixtures that they have are tough enough to knock them out. You know, the big one is Paris Saint-Germain, dude. The big one is Paris Saint-Germain. The big upset is PSG. Because if we take a look at PSG's team, look at this. I just want you to take a look at this. Look at PSG's team group. Bayern Munich at home, Barcelona away, Atalanta at home, Leverkusen away, Tottenham at home, Sporting away, Newcastle at home, and Athletic Club away. That's hard. That's very, very hard. Like, that's super, super tough. I think I mentioned it slightly, but it's tough. It's tough, dude. Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Atalanta, Leverkusen. I mean, could PSG be ending out? I think, you know what? I'm gonna say it. I think that PSG might be going out if they don't beat like Tottenham. Like, they were not able to beat Tottenham in the Super Cup. They beat them through penalties. So if they're not able to beat them, that could be a problem. I think they could struggle with Tottenham. I think they can struggle with Newcastle. And I think they can struggle with Athletic Club. I think they could struggle with 3 of those teams, dude. Like, Atalanta as well, they could struggle with. Although this Atalanta is not the one with Gasperini, which is different. But if Bayern Munich upsets them and, let's say, beats them at home, at the Parc des Princes, it changes the mentality of it all. Of course, this is not the order, but like I say, everything matters. I hope we have the fixtures list of the actual, the actual fixture of the teams, in the order that they're gonna play. We don't have that yet. The Champions League starts on the 17th of September, so still a while from now, but should be okay. Well then, guys, that's gonna be it for me right now, and hopefully you have enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Ciao, ciao.